Good day, everyone. This is Sir Don, and welcome to another lesson for purposive communication. Today, we're going to have lesson number 19, and the title of our lesson for today is about communication for work purposes, specifically job interview. So, if you would notice, final term is more of communication in the context of work. Kaya kung makikita ninyo or mapapansin ninyo, sinasanay namin kayo kung paano gumawa ng resume, ng cover letter, and even our lesson for today, which is about how to prepare or how to ace your job interviews. And as future professionals or for those who would want to look for a job para sa mga hanap ng trabaho, if they are or if they want to be a working student, or in the future after you graduate, of course, every one of you will seek job or will find a job, and it's very important to note kung paano ba natin mai-ace itong pag-apply ng trabaho. And this is the reason why we have these kinds of lessons. And for today, we're going to discuss the job interview. Let me read to you the learning targets. At the end of the module, you will be able to construct responses for sample job interview questions. Later on, we are going to prevail some interview questions, common questions, and how would you answer them? Okay? Number 2, demonstrate effective oral communication skills in answering job interview questions as a potential job candidate. Of course, for you to ace the job interview or when you apply the job, excellent communication or oral communication skill is very important. Let us proceed to the coach. No, in your lecture, it's on page 2 to 3, and the title of the article or the content note that we will be discussing for today is on page 2 to 3, and it's entitled Job Interview. Okay, a job interview is when a person looking for a job meets with someone from the company they want to work for. Of course, job interview is a very important, vital part of the hiring process. Sinabi nga dito sa inyong binabasa or sa inyong content notes that the company wants to know if your skills, your credentials, your qualities aligns to the company's values and goals. Nagfi-fit ka ba doon sa hinahanap nila, doon sa job vacancy? Do you embody the qualities that they are looking for, the attributes that they are looking for? Tandaan din natin that by the advent of time and technology, hindi na lang face-to-face nangyayari ang job interview. Meron na tayong face-to-face, over the phone, via email, and video calls. Especially nangyari yan during the pandemic where mostly we are not permitted to go out, bawal lumabas, kaya we've resorted to making job interviews via video calls like Google Meet and Zoom. Okay? Usually, you'll go through a few interviews before they decide if they want to hire you. So later on, as we dive into this lecture, we are going to discuss ano ba yung mga hiring process in general. Okay? Next, the job interview process has 2 main goals. Ano yung dalawang goal natin? Sinabi na natin kanina. Gusto nating malaman or gustong malaman ng employer natin, the employer would want to figure out if you are the right person for the job. Okay? By interview, it helps them decide kung nag-fit ka ba doon sa hinahanap nila. And in the same manner, it helps you to know the company also, and it helps you to decide whether if you like the company's values and goals. Kasi mahirap namang magtrabaho sa isang kumpanya na hindi or labag sa atin yung kanilang mga values at goals or pinaniniwalaan or sa prinsipyo natin. So, yun yung dalawang goals ng job interview. You are getting to know the company, at the same time, the company or the employer wants to get to know you so that they or he or she can figure out if you are the right fit for the job. Now, the interview or the hiring process depends or ranges or changes from company to company. Okay? But if you would look here, there are general steps na usually dinadaanan natin when we want to get a job. Okay? Again, these are in general and it might be different from company to company. Okay? But these are the general steps. Number 1, application submission. Okay? Of course, you will submit your requirements, and primarily it's more of submitting the resume and the cover letter or the application letter. Kaya mahalaga na yung cover letter and resume natin ay maayos nating na-construct. Kasi kung doon pa lamang hindi na maganda or magulo na yung ating application, ang chance ay hindi na tayo makuha at hindi na tayo makapag-proceed sa next step. Imagine if there are 200 applicants and the company is just looking for 5 personnel or 5 persons to be hired. Ano yung bago sa'yo or ano yung unique sa'yo o ano yung something na promising sa'yo para i-hire ka ng company o pabilang ka dun sa isa sa 5 hinahanap nila. It is as if you are advertising yourself, parang pagbebenta ng sarili, no? Of course, you have to advertise yourself so that you will be hired or you will be one of these 5 in these 5 vacant positions that they are looking for. Okay? Next, after nun, sabihin na natin na nakapasa ka doon. Ang tawag nga pala doon ay initial screening. After mong mag-submit, titignan nila yung resume and yung cover letter. Assuming that you passed that, okay, magkakaroon na ng series of interview. Yung iba ang tawag dito, first interview or initial interview. Pwedeng in person, by phone, by call, by video. Okay? Siyempre, inaalam nila yung skills and experiences mo dyan, yung qualities and attributes mo if you are better fit with the job. Kung sakaling nakapasa ka sa initial or first interview, meron pang follow-up interview yan. And even for other companies, meron pang tinatawag na final interview. Okay, aside from that, we have assessment tests or tasks also. So, ito yung mga series of assessment na kinakandak upon or during the job application to test if fit ka talaga doon sa job. For example, sa teachers, ang assessment test siguro or task ay yung pinaka-teaching demonstration. Okay? And halimbawa naman sa mga police officers, they are seeking to apply for a police officer position. Siguro dyan napapasok yung mga physical tests, psychological tests, neurological tests, and some other kinds of tests. Basta tandaan ninyo, these are the tests relevant to the job to see how good you are for the job or for the vacancy available. Okay? The company might do reference checks also. Yung references na nilalagay natin doon sa resume natin, pwedeng tawagan or kontakin nila yon para kamustahin tayo kung anong klaseng tao ba tayo or anong klase ba tayong katrabaho. For example, if you have listed your previous employer in your reference list, maaring tanungin kung paano ka ba nag-work, maayos ka bang katrabaho, ano ba yung maganda sa iyo, etc., etc. Basically, they are doing background checking of you. Next, if you surpass all of this, generally, you might get a job offer. Dito na yung i-offer na yung job sa'yo at magpipirmahan na kayo ng contract. Again, every company's process of hiring might be different from one to another. But these are the things that we have discussed. These are the main steps that you will be probably going through when you apply for a job. Now, let's proceed to the common questions usually asked for a job interview. Ano-ano ba itong mga ito? So, I'll be giving some examples para mapaghandaan nyo rin. Okay, so that when you are asked, you know how to respond or to address it. But bear in mind that there is no specific formula when answering these questions because these questions are highly contextual. It depends on your strengths and weaknesses. No, it depends on your personality. Iba-iba naman kasi tayong mag-reason out. Iba-iba yung strength and weaknesses natin. But what I'm trying to do here is just to give you perspective on how you will answer it. Okay? The first question is, tell me something about yourself. Of course, when you are asked about this question, basically, tinatanong ka about your personal information. You don't tell yung mga unnecessary details. Hindi mo na kailangan sabihin kung sino yung nanay mo, sino yung tatay mo, ano yung paborito mong ulam. Okay? Briefly tell about your personal details. You can say your name, your age, where do you live, and take note of this. These are very important. No? Pwede kang mag-share ng favorite mong hobby, activity, or experience, and always relate these hobbies, experiences, and activity doon sa job vacancy na ina-applyan mo. Hindi porke may na-experience tayo ng isang bagay, ay pwede na natin siyang ilagay doon sa ating resume, cover letter, or isagot doon sa ating uh, interview, during our interview when we are being asked in the question, no? So, laging may rule of relevance. Dapat yung sasabihin mo lagi ay relevant doon sa, or always try to connect doon sa may konteksto ng ina-applyan mong trabaho. Kaya nga tinitailor din yung ating resume, cover letter, and yung pagsagot doon sa ating interview question. Okay? Next, you state also na excite ka, you're looking forward for the opportunity to work with the company and learn new things and things like that. Next, questions like, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Sabi ko nga sa inyo lagi, dapat may rule of relevance. Yung what are your strengths, basically, you say your strengths and then you relate it to the company or to the job offering yung sa position na ina-applyan mo. But what if you're being asked of your weakness? Eh, di ba sabi natin kanina, it feels like you're advertising yourself, parang binibenta mo yung sarili mo para ma-hire ka. Eh, bakit magsasabi ka ng weakness? Eh, di ba negative yun? Okay, how would you answer these kinds of tricky questions? Okay, may binigay dyan sa module ninyo, if makikita ninyo, okay, ang sabi dyan, okay, you state your weakness, but you state also how you are working on improving these weakness. Okay? Are you doing to improve that weakness? Or, pwede mo rin namang sagutin, in my opinion, na I will say a personal weakness which will turn out to be something positive to the company. Let's give an example. Example, kung ako yung sasagot niyan, I might say that my weakness is that I'm too into work. I'm too hardworking, for example. Masyado po akong specific sa deadlines, kaya ayoko po nang na-delete. Kaya po yung personal time ko po, okay, inaalat ko pa po, imbis na magpahinga na po ako, is inaalat ko pa po sa trabaho para matapos na agad. Okay? Is it my weakness? Of course, kasi yung time na dapat nagpapahinga na ako off work, ginugugol ko pa para magtrabaho kasi ayoko nang nalilate, for example. But, it turned out to be in favor of the company dahil, of course, ang implication niyan is, masipag siya. Okay? Hardworking itong tao na ito, i-hire natin siya. So, as what I have said, there are different ways on how you would answer questions. It's really dependent on you. I'm just giving you perspective. Okay? Next, why do you want to work here? Of course, state that you want to, how can you help the company? Paano mo matutulungan yung company? Aralin mo rin, no, yung mission, vision, and core values nila, and always try to relate it to you and to the job position. Okay? Next, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay? But balik tayo doon. Why do you want to work here? So, sabihin mo kung bakit gusto mong magtrabaho doon. Okay? Ano yung rason? Yun nga, mag-background check ka rin sa company that alam mo yung kanilang mission, vision, and core values. Next, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Basically, talks about your goals or your dreams. Okay? And you may say that you want to keep on learning, on growing, your career, professional development. And you may also state kung ano na yung desired position mo or assumed position mo kapag katapos ng 5 years. Okay? Basically, this question is about asking you about your continuing professional development. Next, questions like, can you tell me about the time you worked well in a team and describe one time in your life where you failed and how you handled your situations? These are situational questions that requires personal experiences. You are asked to share the experience and how did you bounce back from the failure, or how did you cope up with the problem? Paano mo nalutas yung problema? Okay, yun yung tinitingnan dyan. Okay? Again, try to connect always and apply always the rule of relevance when doing it. Okay? These are some of the possible questions. And our lesson for today is about communication for work purposes, specifically for a job interview. If you have Any questions, feel free to ask me. And that's it for today. This has been Sir Don, and thank you so much.